Good morning. I'm Jeff Francer, Assistant General Counsel of the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America, PhRMA. PhRMA is a voluntary nonprofit association that represents the country's leading pharmaceutical research and biotechnology companies. PhRMA is committed to helping assure that the promotion of medicines is truthful, scientifically accurate, and non-misleading. To help accomplish these goals, PhRMA has created its Code on Interaction with Healthcare Professionals and its guiding principles on direct-to-consumer advertisements about prescription medicines. Thus, PhRMA is pleased to participate in today's public meeting. We appreciate the efforts of FDA, especially DDMAC, in seeking public input on the important issues at stake today. This morning, I'll be addressing several of FDA's questions. I'll begin by discussing the unprecedented role of the Internet for patients and the appropriate role of biopharmaceutical companies. PhRMA will propose a new method for helping to assure responsible online promotion when the space constraints of new Internet media present challenges for providing comprehensive information about medical products. To be clear, PhRMA is not asking for FDA to relax its existing standards. Rather, we request that the agency draft guidance that is specific and appropriate to new media, including abbreviated formats. I'll also address the appropriate accountability of manufacturers with respect to online promotion. And of course, we'll be providing much more detail in our comments to the docket. One issue that's indisputable today is that patients and healthcare professionals are turning to the Internet to gather health information in unprecedented numbers. According to a recent survey by the Pew Research Center, 61% of American adults, or 83% of Internet users, now look online for healthcare information. 42% of American adults, or 60% of e-patients, say they or someone they know have been helped by health information found on the Internet. And the Department of Health and Human Services Healthy People 2010 report states that access to the Internet is likely to become essential to gain access to health information. In addition, 1/3 of Americans are looking online for information about medicines. 41% of e-patients have read someone else's commentary or experience about health or medical issues. But, as Pew concludes, the Internet does not replace healthcare professionals. 86% of online users still ask a health professional when they need health information. According to data from ComScore, patients increasingly use the Internet as a source of information when caring for themselves or others. Therefore, access to truthful and reliable information on the Internet will improve public health, and the FDA should facilitate such information. Pharmaceutical manufacturers use the Internet to provide truthful, scientifically accurate, and meaningful information to healthcare professionals and patients about the products they discover, develop, and produce. Already, they provide the only FDA-regulated promotional information online. Given the extraordinary growth of the Internet as a source for healthcare information, the FDA should facilitate manufacturers' communication of important medical information about their products in a responsible way, taking advantage of the same technologies that the FDA and the White House use, including blogs, video, search, and social networking sites such as Twitter. As demonstrated by the FDA's own use of Twitter, it is clear that information about medicines can be provided in a truthful, non-misleading manner in a very small amount of space. And the example on the screen is just one indication of this. As demonstrated in these screenshots, FDA, HHS, and the White House are able to use these online media to communicate in a responsible way. As Internet media evolve, the FDA should facilitate manufacturers' use of new technologies and means to communicate risks and benefits. Consumers on the Internet are accustomed to viewing pop-ups, rollover text, links, and other communication mechanisms. The FDA should recognize, as the FTC has, that space limitations in certain formats warrant allowing certain long warnings to be accessed using a prominently labeled hyperlink. An FTC staff paper states that websites are interactive and have a certain depth. with multiple pages linked together and pop-up screens that may affect how proximity of disclosure is evaluated. Significantly, the FTC's paper concludes that hyperlinked disclosures may be particularly useful if the disclosure is lengthy. PhRMA looks forward to working with FDA and stakeholders to identify ways in which manufacturers may continue to communicate about their medicines online in a truthful, scientifically accurate, and non-misleading manner. One possible solution might involve FDA approving prominent use of the FDA's own logo or a new universal FDA-approved graphic symbol along with a standard universal warning that would also be approved by FDA. For example, the standard warning could read, "All drugs have risks. Click here for important safety information from the manufacturer." This symbol and standard warning could be used in places throughout the web where there is not enough room for complete disclosure of all of the warnings, indications, and contraindications of a medicine. For example, search results and microblog posts. The prominent graphic and link could take users directly to pages displaying the FDA-approved prescribing information and/or medication guides. The use of the FDA's own logo or some other FDA-approved symbol would increase the prominence of the link. It would also help patients and healthcare professionals identify the official manufacturer sites containing FDA-regulated risk and benefit information. While use of such a universal graphic would require the cooperation of many stakeholders, including internet companies, PhRMA hopes that our proposal is one way to advance the conversation about how to communicate the risks and benefits of medical products in new online media. PhRMA believes that FDA should allow for manufacturers to present brief introductions to health information, including brief but accurate indication descriptions which will benefit patients and healthcare professionals, just as FDA now does in its Twitter postings, based on the space constraints of new media. Of course, such an introduction should also contain an affirmative statement about the risks of a medicine, even if abbreviated. A condition of providing more comprehensive benefit and risk information in an abbreviated format could be that such entries contain prominent and clearly marked links indicating that users should view more information such as full indication, full risk information, and more complete fair balance. The link label itself, perhaps with a universal graphic as we propose, should balance a truthful abbreviated indication statement if the link is prominently marked, contains a definitive statement that use of the drug entails risk, and moves the user directly to a page containing a full statement of the indication and risk information.